Oxyotl is the newest Lizardmen legendary lord being added alongside Tarok's the Brass Bull in the Silence and the Fury DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. The Silent Killer is a chameleon skink from the great time of the Great Catastrophe, banished into the Chaos Realm where he learns all sorts of unimaginable truths about chaos. These truths come through in the campaign mechanics of Oxyotl. In this video today, we'll be exploring those campaign mechanics as well as how Oxyotl plays in both the Vortex campaign and the Mortal Empires campaign. The goal here is to give you a spoiler-free rundown of the campaign where we look at the visions of the Old Ones and the Silent Sanctums, the two mechanics added for Oxyotl. By the end of this video, you should have a better idea of deciding if this campaign is right for you come July 14th when the Silence and the Fury DLC launches. You can quickly navigate to any part of this video that interests you the most via the chapters in the timeline. Remember, this is not a guide, and while I might talk about a few things that work particularly well together, we will only be looking at turn 1 of the campaign, maybe a little further to illustrate a point, but I don't want to spoil anything for those of you that want to experience the campaign for yourself. In the interest of upfronting the information in this video, I will tell you that Oxyotl not only plays differently than any other Lizardman lord, but he plays differently than any other character in the game, really. His ability to bounce all over the map and spy on any region you discovered makes for a very fun campaign. It's like a combination of the Sisters of Twilight's mobility and a Lithanar's assassination targets intermixed with an overarching objective. So if you want to play a highly mobile character that gives a ton of bonuses to skinks, like no joke, my chameleon stalkers have 56 melee defense, and I've barely put any modifications into them, then this will absolutely be the campaign for you. If you're enjoying these Is It Right For You videos, there's a whole playlist of them linked in the upper right and at the end of the video. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see more of these videos. Lastly, if you have not yet pre-ordered The Silence and the Fury, you can do so using the link to my Nexus Store in the description. Nexus preserves that 10% pre-order discount. You get a Steam key directly from the developer, and it's a great way to support the channel. But let's get started on Oxyotl's campaign and determine if it's right for you. So here we are at turn 1 of the Vortex campaign for Oxyotl, and we're going to take a look real quick at his overall faction mechanic. It's called The Return. The long-lost hunter's reappearance accompanied portents of demons returning in War Eternal, but also spontaneous and unheralded spawning of his kind. So he gets an upkeep reduction for skink and chameleon skink units, and then additional +1 melee attack, melee defense, and leadership per experience rank for all skink infantry. And that's really important. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that in a second here. Then additional 1% speed and missile damage per experience rank for all skink infantry. So you can see how obviously this character is going to stack skinks in a way that 10-1 can't. I mean, like, he gets such a huge bonus to all the stats really that matter for the skink infantry through just this faction effect. Now let's also take a look at his skills, and we're going to look at the skink Oracle 2 in this section here. So he gets He That Hunts Unseen. So this little guy right here gives immune to diplomatic penalties from trespassing for the Lord's army, has access to masterful ambush stance, requiring less movement range to adopt with a reduced detection chance. Then armor-piercing missile damage plus 50% for all skink infantry units. Again, you can see stacking that hot and heavy. Then experience gain for units plus 200% when fighting against Beastmen, Chaos, and Norska, and you're going to have plenty of options to do that. But also, we get these new essence and toxins added into the game through Oxyotl. So Fireblood Toxin here enables flaming attacks and sundering attacks. Also a special Fireblood Toxin. Then below that you see Fireblood Toxin projectiles explode on impact and reduce enemy armor. So you can only assign this though to skink blowpipe or javelin units, kind of like the new banner runes that Thorek adds into the game for all of the dwarfs. So you get this as a presence of trying to buff the range capabilities of those skink infantry units and blowpipe units across the board. Also, Toad Skin Essence is going to attacks cause discourage effect, reducing leadership, and the essence itself, projectiles, will deal additional damage to infantry, so you get an anti-infantry modifier on them, and reduces their morale. So a really nice set of benefits you get right out the gate, and you really will need it just to get you off the ground, and it's so fast in which you get off the ground, so don't really worry about that too much. Now jumping into skills, we get the same red line and blue line. Obviously the big stuff here is going to be stuff like Ancient Cunning, which is going to stack with that Masterful Ambush stance. We'll take a look at it in just a second. Route Marcher is going to be really good too, because a lot of things give you a huge amount of campaign movement bonuses through Oxyotl and the Skink Oracle, which we'll take a look at in just a little bit as well. And then, of course, that goes down to Lightning Strike, which is going to be so strong for this character. Renowned and Feared, more campaign movement, all the goodies you would have expected, as well as upkeep reduction. Now, I will say the red line's really powerful going to Skirmisher just to get all these bonuses of 12% missile strength, weapon strength, melee defense, and so on and so forth for a lot of the Skink characters you're going to be using. That's just a little aside. Nothing new or unique about that. Just wanted to point it out. For the yellow line here, pretty much everything is as you would have expected it. We got Indomitable, Deadeye, Hard to Hit, Piercing Shots, Slippery. Then we jump into Woundmaker, Scarred Veteran, Bottomless Quiver, Expeditious Endeavor, and then Swiftness of Itzel, which is pretty nifty here, giving us a little explosion and a chance to escape melee and a boost to our speed. In addition, though, Oxyotl has this ability too, Master Predator. So he gets to increase his range, reduce his speed and charge speed, but also grants him Snipe and Unstoppable. It's really nice to just kind of be able to plop him in your back line, pop this, and he can hit things at range and do a significant amount of damage, right? He has a lot of AP, poison damage that he's going to be shooting out, 72 AP per missile volley, which is really nice. And again, that is poison and it is magic. He has those nice benefits. 30 armor, 75 leadership, 54 speed, 50 melee attack, 45, 400, 30, 50, 120. The typical kind of range. Now, looking at his unique line, he gets Ancient Knowledge, and Ancient Knowledge is really important to generate Sanctum gems, which we'll go into a little bit when we talk about the Hidden Sanctums portion of this video. But it also increases research rate by 15% and unit experience gain per armor, or I'm sorry, unit experience gain per turn plus 150 for the Lord's Army. So you can see how his faction effect can really take away fast. It can go on a hard ramp up and give you some very powerful Skink units. You also have so many abilities that are going to increase the recruitment rank of your Skinks that you can really take advantage of. Hunter of Nightmares is going to increase that enemy leadership when fighting against, reduces the enemy leadership for Warriors of Chaos, Beastmen, and Norska. Gives you a bonus to Untainted and Attribute Immune to Psychology when fighting the aforementioned races. The Hidden Nuisance here is going to give you greatly reduced chance of being detected while in ambush stance, even stacking further with Ancient Cunning, but Attribute Unstoppable for Chameleon Skink Stalker units, the new Chameleon Skink unit, and then Stalk for all Skink infantry units, which is great, and then Attribute Snipe for the Chameleon Skinks. Again, that's a really powerful way to really have a strong Vanguard presence. That's a big thing too with Oxyotl, is you will be the Vanguard King with your Skinks with this army. So going further to Explorer of Lost Worlds, unlock hero recruitment for the Skink Oracle. You can get that outside of the skill, but this allows you to do it for all provinces. You can build the building if you want, but this will allow you to do it in all of the provinces you own. 15% reduction in upkeep for Troglodyte, Kotal, and Skink Oracle unit, and then missile resistance for all those on top of their base 15, so they'll have 30% missile resistance, which is quite nice. Actually, that might be a base 10. We'll take a look at when we look at the Oracle. Behind enemy lines here gives you a casualty replenishment rate of 5% when in foreign territory. And that's important because you'll be warping around the map into foreign territory. So it'll be nice to give yourself some casualty replenishment rate while you are behind enemy lines, because you'll be there for at least one turn before you can leave them. And again, we'll explore that as we go into the Chaos Visions portion, or the old one visions. Then we get missile damage plus 10% when in foreign territory, global recruitment plus 2, and melee attack plus 8 when in foreign territory. Again, you are going to be in foreign territory a lot, so this is not a wasted skill, trust me. Then you get the Long Revenge here, which gives you perfect vigor to loss reduction, minus 50% for all Skink and Chameleon Skink infantry units, ammunition increased by 50%, and then that campaign movement range plus 15. So the Long Revenge, 15, plus Route Marcher gives you 25 total. Add in here the Renowned and Feared, you're looking at 30% bonus to your campaign movement range. That's quite nice. And this character, like I said, he's all about mobility. Now for our top row, we get Agility of the Lizard, and protection of the old one, just your standard missile and magic resistance bonuses. But we get the golden blowpipe of Patui, a particularly easy weapon to unlock here, increasing your melee strength, your missile strength, your reload time, and your range all by 10%, and granting you the golden blowpipe of Patui ability, which just gives you a nice, heavy AP magic missile, more or less. It's just like an amber spear, I guess is the best way to put it. You're just gonna kind of shoot at someone pretty hard. Doesn't have a ton of penetration. It's not meant to shoot through a whole line of units. Like the amber spear can really be abused to be used. This is meant to really focus down and hard hit one enemy, like Tarox. Then you also get the enemy's weapons. Another one of these new poisons that you can affix to all of the weapons of your units. This enables magic attack and demon bane. Projectiles become magical and anti-large and will home in on targets, which is very powerful. Poisons of the warp will attack, cause slow death effect, draining hit points. And slow death projectiles will deal additional damage over time and extra damage to low health units, and are particularly effective against single entities. I had one chameleon skink unit with this, and I just watched them delete a feral mammoth. So this slow death thing stacks very well as soon as they get past the 50% threshold of, I guess maybe 20 or 25% is considered really low health. But their health goes from, it's going down pretty quick, it's going down really fast, they're dead. So it's a very cool little ability. It gives a lot of threat range to a very high ranked chameleon skink unit, and the ability to, if you get snipe involved into this, where's snipe? Snipe involved on your chameleon skinks, they can really punish a single entity unit fast with poisons of the warp. So those are the skills and everything for Oxyotl. Let's really quickly jump into the new skink oracle here. Oracle of the Sacred Plaques, pretty sweet. And of course, he'll have a random trait here. Every time I've booted up the game, he's had Lore Master. So I don't know if I just got lucky and that's what happened, or if this is hard-coded to always be the Lore Master trait, but worth kind of taking a look at. Now, for his skills, they're pretty great. Especially because, remember I said he gets that 30%, Oxyotl can get 30% campaign movement range bonus. You can increase mobility here by an additional 15%, giving him a total 45% campaign movement buff. That's huge. That's awesome. But he gets a custom magic kit, which is different than what you can actually use in multiplayer. So he gets Fireball, Wyson's Wild Form, Earthblood, Harmonic Convergence, Flock of Doom, and then Wind Blast. And also, lastly, he gets the lore attributes of Life Bloom and Wild Heart. He also gets Earthing and Magical Reserves. Evasion's in here as well. Swiftness of Itzel's in here as well, with Primeval Roar, giving you a bonus to that melee attack for 31 seconds. We're also going to get Divinatory Authority, Augury, Venomous Spit, Wild-Eyed, Thick-Skinned, those typical kind of things, but nonetheless, just want to quickly hover over them so you can see that you increase Leadership Aura, Fervor, Fleet-Footed, and Opportunist, just as you expect. At the top, of course, you get the Agility of the Lizard. Oh, that base missile resistance was 15%, so like I was saying earlier with Oxyotl skill, that would stack up to 30. So Agility of the Lizard, Protection of the Old Ones, your typical immortality. But we also get Telepathic Connection, which gives you a bound spell of Comet of Cassandora. Pretty nifty here. And we get Guerrilla Fighter, which allows this unit to Vanguard. It is very strong, because when you're thinking of this character, the Troglodyte, you're thinking of a character that is probably really good at melee, right? Well, not really. That's not the focus of this character. This unit is focused more as a magic casting anti-large artillery piece. Because we also get Natural Camouflage, which allows you to stalk, which is, again, a huge bonus. But take a look at its missile strength. 889 with 320 AP. It's got an explosive shot, too, so it does a nice 140 and 80 explosive damage and AP explosive damage, respectively, and then 150 bonus versus large with 120 range. So the biggest downfall to this thing is its lower range. You can kind of increase that here with Venomous Spit. It's only 120, but it's still, worth noting that this thing will melt another large target, a single entity especially. You cannot put the poisons on this character, though, unless they say otherwise. But almost all of them will say Skink, Infantry, or Blowpipe Infantry. So if you're looking to stack some of the cool ones we took a look at, you cannot do that. But again, nice good 20 ammo, charge bonus of 50. It still does very well in combat at 415 AP damage. Not amazing because it has 46 melee attack, or I'm sorry, 46 melee defense and 39 melee attack. That is also poison. A good 95 armor though, and 75 speed. So this character can navigate around the battlefield quickly, give you some pretty good magical support as well as really strong AP anti-large damage. And again, fireball, you get your cold-blooded, the typical kind of things. So that is your Skink Oracle. That is Oxyotl. So let's take a look now at some of his actual unique campaign mechanics. Oh, as real quick though, just to take a look at our rights, we get Rite of Primeval Glory. We get Rite of Sotek. This is one that's going to be increasing your weapon strength, missile strength, and melee attack for your Skink units. Your Rite of Ferocity, which is really going to help out in increasing the recruitment rank of your Skink units as they come out into the battlefield. And then Rite of Awakening. And like I was saying too, you can stack this here with the technology like sequence of skink spawning, and that's +4 to your skink units if you use that respective right and that as well. And also you get these two to start the game out. So all enables poison for all skink infantry, and then missile strength, and then vanguard deployment for skink infantry. So things right out the gate, you already are kind of stacked heavy in the skink department. Let's jump into those two new faction mechanics though now for Oxyotl. The first one we're going to look at is the new Silent Sanctums. And these kind of are like Skaven Undercities, right? You establish them in a location. You start off with the frozen city already having one in it. You press this button and you've got some production you can do. Every single one of them will always have this building, the Unearthed Sanctum, which will grant visibility over the local region, or upgrade it to get visibility over all adjacent regions. And that's going to be a big thing, is dealing with the adjacent regions. Then you get 3 different types of buildings. You get, of course, the Silent Sanctum. You've already got that. But you get the operations, and then you get the armory. So for operations, you get a recruitment cost reduction and global recruitment duration reduction. That stacks up here to 50% and 2. Then you get a grand gallery here that's going to increase your casualty replenishment rate by 30% in friendly, neutral, and enemy territory, all forces in local and adjacent regions. And then vigor loss reduction by 33%. Also, the capstone here, which is going to reduce upkeep by 20% and income from post-battle loot by 50% in all forces in local and adjacent regions. Then you've got your scrying pool here, which is going to have a 33 chance a stronger Sanctum patrol will ambush enemies in the local region, which is a really cool way to just basically weaken a foe, because you have these Sanctum patrols that are ambushing enemies as they move in and out of your local region that this has been created in. Really cool way to either preempt an invasion or help defend a land that is on the kind of frontier of your territory. Lastly, though, we've got the Capstone of Teapot. Now, this one allows you to use this as almost like a recall point. And we'll go into that when we go into the visions of the old ones. And allowing you to kind of navigate back to this place immediately whenever you want. So you can warp around the map when we look at the next campaign mechanic, and it's quite strong. Also, you can give you a ward save of 10% to your local armies. So you can only have one of these, though, in the entire faction, outside of the frozen city, which is already kind of assumed to be one. Then our other 2 building chains, or our other building chain, has got 3 buildings that at the top tier give you an army ability, and that will give you also weapon strength, charge bonus, melee attack for this one. The next one is defensive oriented here, giving you missile strength and ammunition. And then your last one here, your last one here is going to be, this one was range. This one's the defensive capabilities one. This one will increase your missile resistance, your armor, and your melee defense. And those Sanctum abilities are going to give you things like, okay, Sotek Sanctum is going to do a hard splash AoE poison ability. Zapati's Sanctum is a ranged attack, and each one of these will be something different. Like this one's actually going to summon up Chameleon Skink Stalkers for you. You get 3 charges of it. I think it's on a 30-second or so recycle, and you can use it all forces in local and adjacent regions. So you can use this defensively or offensively depending upon how you want this to kind of play itself out. So let's jump into the other mechanic with the visions to see how this all plays together. Before we do that, we've warped a little bit ahead because I want to show you how you can actually designate a Silent Sanctum. Remember I was talking about those Sanctum gems that you will get 1 per turn with Oxyotl's rank 12 ability? Well, you'll also get them from doing the Visions missions, and once you do them, you get 8 and you can unlock another Silent Sanctum. As you can see, this is your symbol for one that already exists. If I press this button, because I can unlock one, and I zoom out, I can select any region I want as long as I have somewhat sight on it. So I don't think I've done it yet. Yeah, I haven't done it yet in this save, but if you teleport to a different portion of the map and you can say go right here, you'll get sight on a number of things around you, and that allows you to make a Silent Sanctum at any of those regions. So if I say, hey, I'm going to be expanding over here to the Wastelands, I'm going to make a Silent Sanctum to buff up my adjacent bonuses, to give me a lot of army buffs and abilities as I'm moving into new lands. Or hey, you know what? Maybe I'm going to be down here a long time from now. Well, I'm going to make a Silent Sanctum and try to bolster my ability to eventually expand in this direction because I've taken a city from one of the Vision missions. So it's a really interesting new mechanic here, and let me just go ahead and establish one. You build a Silent Sanctum, and it establishes that sanctum for us. We click right here, and there we go. We can make whatever we want. So, you know, like I said, I've already built up this one in an adjacent region. So to give myself some melee bonuses, let's go with this one. This one's going to give me some defensive capabilities, and that way, as I'm pushing into this region, I'm getting the bonuses from this one because it's this region and adjacent regions. And this one will be granting me my bonus because I'm pushing into it because it is this region and the adjacent region. It's a really cool ability and a way to really bolster what you're going to be doing as far as invading goes. Or, like I said, you could use this one to have these patrols really kind of weaken a location before you plan to invade it. That way you've got armies that have already kind of been quote unquote ambushed by a kind of like a hero when the hero does the ambush or attack a garrison capability. That one, it does the same kind of thing here. It's going to be doing some damage to them. So it's a really kind of nice way to weaken everything as you expand outward. But now we can jump into the visions and talk a little bit about those. This is the new Visions of the Old Ones mechanic for Oxyotl, and it kind of has some interesting mechanics attached to it. You've got 3 different difficulties: easy, normal, and hard. You have to complete 5 or 10, I think it is, harder difficulty vision missions to unlock the final battle of the campaign. And you've got your capital, which is right up here. Remember we talked about those capstone of Tepocs? Well, those will spawn wherever you want them on the map, whatever one you choose. So let's say, you know, hey, I'm going to expand out this region and I'm going to control all of it. The whole northern portion of the map is going to be mine. But I really want a presence in the Southlands. And I've done a vision mission that will transport me down here. We're going to take a look at that as I jump a little bit further forward. Well, then I'm going to make my capstone of Tepoc down here so I can bounce between these 2 locations at whim. Because what this allows you to do is if I click this, it gives me a mission requirement: destroy the following faction, Krog, and then rewards of success. New visions of the old ones will be received. Sanctum gems plus 8, which is enough to make a new hidden sanctum, and then a 5k treasury bonus. Also, new visions of the old ones will be received if I fail. Now, this is the very first one. If you fail other ones, they'll get buffs. Like, okay, their enemy holdout time is longer because you had to siege something and you failed the siege. Okay, now they all get melee defense bonuses because you were supposed to kill the army and you didn't, and now they're expecting you. So these consequences of failure are thematic to what you do fail, because you've got assassination targets. You can see this has a little skull. That's destroy the faction. You'll have another one that'll say sack, raise, or occupy a city. So they all have some sort of theme attached to them. Now, you then can press travel and it will automatically send you to that destination. And this can even be powerful on a short distance. So let me show you. So if I click here at my character, he's not in range to take this location, unfortunately. You can see it's gonna end right there. Let's go back to the visions thing, click right here, press travel. this little cool thing pops up, and he'll travel into the region of that location or right next to the enemy army, whatever it is. And now I'm within range to take and attack the unit. We'll go ahead and press auto resolve. Look at the units on the left. You can see the ones blinking. That's the new auto resolve system that tells me those units will die if I press auto resolve. And I can tell from this new auto resolve outcome, battle result is a close victory with the casualties at medium. You can definitely skew this in your favor if you fight it yourself, but for the sake of the video, we'll do that. And again, this is the new Fireblood toxins. You apply them to things just like you would any other banner. I'm not sure if I stated that clearly enough, but that's how they work. And we'll just go ahead and just occupy. So that gives us our thing. Our visions are done, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and jump forward a little bit to show you some other ways that this vision system kind of works. So we've jumped ahead again a little bit, and you can see I now have 3 different missions across the map. And you can see those icons will flash. Okay, this is destroy a Norska settlement. This is hunt an army, and this is hunt an army. And it gives you the difficulty of it as well. They're all easy. So let's go ahead and just select this one. And I can see that the reward success is going to be a blessed spawning, recruitment rank +3 for skinks, for 5 turns. And like I said, you have so many ways to bolster the recruitment rank of skinks that it can get just disgusting. But you know, now they're aware of you, so they will get a permanent bonus of +5 melee defense if I fail. We'll click over here, some Sanctum gems, some income. So the only way to get Sanctum gems is by doing this or the per turn ones you get at rank 12 for Oxyotl skill. So these Sanctum gems are pretty precious little preciouses. Now the rewards of success here for this one give you blessed skink skirmishers. God, that golem voice is out of nowhere. Ammunition, and then missile strength, and then so you get an idea of what's going on. You get different things, and they're going to just be all over the map. So let's go ahead and select this one and travel. We'll travel there. We're over here. Attack him. Just press declare war. Sure, sure, sure. And auto resolve yet again. Now we also get this new harvest materials, ephemeral materia, which gives ammunition +20%. We've got exterminate, which is going to give us unit experience. And then depending upon how well we did, kill and eat. So we'll just press kill and eat. So I can't, that's part of the quest item. So I'm just going to ignore that. I can't leave this location though. I can't teleport back here because I've already done it this turn. So that's what I was saying is you're going to spend time in enemy territory. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. So from there, you wait a turn. Okay, yeah, I got it. Well, the unused skills are there. We'll wait a turn, and the next turn you can teleport back. And that's why that ability is so, having that other recall point is going to be strong because it allows you to bounce between your 2 primary locations, whatever they may be, a little bit faster. So I press this, go to here, travel, and I'm now back to where I was after waiting a turn. So that is the new Visions of the Old Ones mechanic. Unfortunately, from what I can really tell, there's not been any other changes to the Lizardmen. The geomantic web is exactly the same, and I'm not 100% sure of all the things with Lizardmen. So if anyone sees anything from here, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Say, hey, can you actually hover over this? This is different now, or whatever it is. From what I looked at, everything was for the most part the same. Lore Master of Sotek has a really great video on all of the FLC changes coming to the game, so please check his channel out and the video on this. He doesn't have anything about the Lizardmen in it, and I haven't heard or seen anything about other Lizardmen stuff that was added to the game aside from Oxyotl's new mechanics. Let's go ahead into the Vortex campaign to close our video out. And here we are on the Mortal Empires map. You start in the same location, Frozen City, all the way in the northern portion of the Deadwood. So nothing for the most part is any different in that Mortal Empires campaign. Here's your objectives. The short-term one here. Again, you have to do way more Visions of the Old Ones. Complete 25 of the following. The normal and the hard versions. And then do your chapters as they progress forward. Your chapter objectives, you know, as you do this, all the way down to Old Skink, New Tricks. So that is your short-term victory campaign, and there is your long campaign victory right there, so that you guys have it and you can see it. And I know people are probably going to ask about this, so here's how you get the Codal. You just simply need to make the Ripperdactyl Hatchery at tier 4. And here is the Skink Oracle over here in the Temple of the Old Ones. So again, very easy to get access to. And the Chameleon Stalkers, yeah, the old cockers, are here in the tier 2 building for the spawn pools of the Braves. So a very clear kind of layout for all of them. You also have Troglodyons, which are here at the top of the Pyramid of Itzel. That's how you would get access to them. And these are all of the buildings. Again, I don't think anything changed here, but I'm just showing this here so that you guys can see it. If you notice something, please by all means let me know in the comment section below so that I can add it to the pinned comment of stuff that I did not catch. But there you go, guys. You now know what both the Vortex and the Mortal Empires is like for Oxyotl. And like I said before, this is a campaign where you are going to be very mobile. You're going to be behind enemy lines. You're teleporting everywhere. You saw what I did. I went from the left side of Naggaroth back to the right side of Naggaroth in the process of a turn. So this character is going to be very strong with a really good Skink military. But as a result, you do have to micromanage that Skink military a little bit better. They're not the most stalwart of, well, units in the Lizardmen roster, but you can make them very strong. This return capability, you know, okay, if you've got 9 ranks, well, that's 9 more melee defense on all of your Skink units. And if you stack that too with the Redline Skirmisher ability here, you're going to get 8 more melee defense on all of your Skink, Chameleon Skinks and Chameleon Stalker and Red Crested Skink units. So it really can get out of control fast. And with you've hopefully now seen how you can get high recruitment rank bonuses on your Skinks through some of the technologies, through some of the things in here and here, so on and so forth. So you really have the capability to level them up fast, either recruit them at a high rank to begin with, or just kind of have a good Skink army the entire time. So if you want to play Skinks, you want to jump all over the map and really take care of business with Oxyotl, this is definitely going to be the campaign for you. If you want a more static campaign where you're painting the map and you're playing more of a defensive game, kind of like Gorok, this is not going to be the campaign for you. But just to kind of give you a juxtaposition between the two characters where you're highly maneuverable and you're going to be doing a lot of damage because your character itself is not very stalwart in close combat, versus, you know, again, Gorok, which is just the ultimate meat shield. This is, again, going to be a lot more fun as a Lizardman assassin of sorts. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun action. But go ahead and let me know if you have any other questions about Oxyotl. I know a lot of people right now are probably going to be covering the Beastmen Old World update, the Beastmen and Taurox and everything like that, and I will be covering those as well. I just wanted to give them a couple days because I assumed everyone would be jumping on this and not a lot of people will be covering Oxyotl. And even though he's not nearly as awesome as Taurox and the Beastmen stuff, it's still worth kind of showing off because he does have some cool fun mechanics, and the new toxin system being brought into the game is pretty cool as well. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.